What is up, everybody? My name is Jordan. This is the first episode of Beyond the Bat podcast. I've really wanted to start a podcast for the longest time. I wanted to really start one in college as I was trying to get through my journey of playing collegiate baseball. I just never really had the time, honestly, being an athlete, but also I just was going through some stuff, and the last thing I really wanted to do was sit and talk to myself on a camera. Thankfully, I have a bunch of buddies and people I've reached out to already that are very much looking forward to speak out and show their stories of what they've gone through, their careers in baseball, more than just baseball and just life. And we'll probably have some people that are not baseball players either in the future. But let's get a rundown on this podcast. Like I said, my name is Jordan. I am 24 years old. I currently reside in Orlando, Florida. I'm originally from Massachusetts, born and raised in Saugus, moved to Merrimack my junior year of high school. I played college baseball at the Division III level at a small school, at the time Northern Vermont University, now Vermont State University, on the Linden campus. Played in the North Atlantic Conference. I was first team all conference. I have a couple accolades. Hit 330 in my college career. I was pretty content with how my college career. It was pretty short, only played 2 years to move down to Florida. I've been working with the Walt Disney Company ever since. I'm a big Disney guy at heart. I really thought that's the path I wanted to go, but fortunate enough, I've been working with Ripken Baseball since May. I just realized that baseball is where my passion is. That's where my heart is. I really just want to be in the world of baseball any way I can. I've loved falling in love with the process again. Just being around baseball every day with Ripken, it's just really good to be around my soul, my heart. It knows that that's where I'm meant to be. So it's really good to just have baseball in my life again. I'll kind of give you guys a rundown on what this podcast is going to be. I have been very fortunate to get to meet a whole lot of really good people and really good athletes. Growing up, I didn't have a whole lot of guidance. Like, my parents weren't huge sports people. They wanted me involved in sports, and my brother wasn't really a sports person. And I just didn't really have like a grip on, like, I would sit in my backyard for hours taking dry swings by myself. And I knew as a kid I would love something like this in my life, just to hear stories that athletes are relatable. Like, especially high level athletes, like, you see them on TV, you see them on ESPN, you see them on TikTok, you see them on Instagram, and they have thousands and thousands of followers. But you got to realize, like, they're humans at the end of the day. And I just really want to showcase these stories to you guys to show that these athletes, they go through everyday struggles just like us, just us normal people. They just happen to be very good at a sport too. And I know growing up, I would really appreciate just listening to stuff like this. And that's really what I want to do. I see a lot of kids on TikTok now, especially with Pottstown Scout Team and just social media as a whole. These kids in their mind, they think they need to be somewhere, but everyone's journey is different. The first podcast is going to be with Brady O'Brien. He was originally a Division III baseball player at Colby College in Maine, transferred to the University of Richmond Division One, and now is playing in the minor league system. Not a huge over-recruited guy. He's not getting offers from Vandy and Texas Tech and all these other schools, right? And a lot of kids, in their mindset, they're 7th, 8th grade, they're like seeing kids committing to schools and they're like, I'm behind. And no, that's just not the case. Like, everyone's journey is different. And I just want this to be an outlet for kids or even adults that you just need to live your life, put yourself in your own shoes. You don't need to fill someone else's shoes, right? Um, you can truly just focus on yourself, but be a humble servant and help others, obviously. But you don't need to be so complex through social media because social media is a facade, right? Like, you go see people on vacation, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're spending money, buying cars. They're just doing it to show that they want to show everyone else in the world that they're living a good life, right? But it might not be that behind the scenes, you know? But they just want to put that facade out there that they're living a good life. But you never know what's going on behind closed doors for people, right? So I just think this will be a really good outlet for a lot of people, kids and adults, to just really learn the stories of athletes and just people in general. Um, I think it's just gonna be good. I'm gonna have a good time with it. I really don't care what anyone thinks. I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing it for anyone else. I have really wanted to do this for a long time. I don't really care if this blows up. I'm gonna do it for fun. If I can run with it, I'll run with it, you know? So I have a couple notes to start. Um, so I kind of went a little bit into my story, but I will give the whole rundown of my life. Obviously, lived in the suburbs of Boston. Baseball, hockey were the two main sports. I was playing lacrosse too. So I was playing baseball and lacrosse in the spring. I was playing hockey pretty much year round. My brother was a pretty good hockey player. My grandfather was a hockey coach. My two uncles played hockey. Um, so I was a hockey family. Like even being African American, hockey was in our blood. I obviously don't look like it now, but at the time, when I was much smaller, I could fly around out there, and I felt like I was a very good hockey player. Um, I, but my first love was obviously always baseball. As long as I can remember living in Saugus, just in the backyard, hitting on a tee at however old, right? Just working on my craft. Played Little League in Saugus. I was a catcher. I felt like just naturally playing hockey, I was good moving behind the plate. I felt like I was very flexible for my size, and I was very good at blocking. I was very good at framing, and so I kind of knew from the start I wanted to be a catcher. I idolized Jason Varitek. I wore my socks high because of him. He just embodied what like a true leader would be, and that's someone I really wanted to be. So Jason Varitek was my guy. I was ride or die with him, man. Once I got to like 9, 10, I really started to just outwork a lot of other kids, and I just knew playing lacrosse as well. I was ready to play travel baseball, like I was ready to play competitive baseball. And I know we're starting travel ball at like 6, 7. Oh, I did not mean to do that. 6, 7. I'm just kidding. Please don't flame me in the comments. I don't want that at all. But I know they're literally starting travel ball like 5 years old now. Definitely wasn't like, hell no. I was not doing it then. But once that 10-year-old All-Star season happened, I hit a couple home runs. Um, I was pitching honestly pretty well. Had really competitive at bats with a pretty ugly swing. I had the potential. Um, and I knew if I just started playing travel ball, I could figure it out. And my goal was to play in college, even at 10 years old. As much as I wanted to be a professional baseball player, I kind of knew it was a pipe dream a little bit. But if at least I could play in college, that's really what I wanted to do. So when I was 11 years old, I tried out for a team called Academy Baseball in Danvers, Massachusetts. It was their first year as a program. Um, I was going to try out for a couple other teams, but after that first tryout, I think I really blew a lot of the coaches away with my potential. I wasn't saying I was the greatest player in the world, obviously, but I think they kind of just saw I was a grinder. I was going to be the first one to take a rep. If there was reps to steal, like I was going to steal them, right? Um, and I think they saw that. And then a team called the Thunderbirds, their 10-year-old team, they decided to come over to the academy when they were turning 11, so same age group. Russ Steves, who ended up being a coach, he was the head coach at Bishop Fenwick High School in Peabody. And he coached at St. John's Prep, which is a very well-known baseball high school in the area. They have a lot of Division One kids. Brady O'Brien, who'll be the next podcast, he's a graduate of St. John's. SJP is very well known. So he got in contact with my dad, and we had a private workout, just us two. So I fielded ground balls, I caught a little, I pitched, and I hit. And he said they were just looking for a bat in the middle of the lineup, and he knew I could fill that. And so I played with them. And that was the best decision me and my parents ever made, because I still have some of my closest friends to this day. I don't live up there anymore, obviously being in Florida, but to this day, some of the closest friends that will be in my wedding have come through the academy. Wearing that Royal Blue A was one of the biggest blessings in my life, and I didn't know it at the time, but now looking back, I'm so thankful for Russ and everyone on that team for just giving me a chance, because I never played travel ball before, and they just gave me an opportunity to come in and just be myself. I had so much fun. I was hitting home runs and pitching, and when I turned 12 was when I really got to become a very good pitcher. I know, like, you're playing on a little diamond, but in my mind, I was like, I could go pitch at a Division One level. I commanded the strike zone. I was confident. I literally thought no one up there was better than me, and I think a lot of kids need that mindset when at least they're on the mound. Like, be humble, be a humble servant, but don't. When you're on the mound or you're in the batter's box, if you want to compete and you want to play at a high level, you have to have the mindset of your dog. No one's better than me. Like, I'm getting you out right now. And one of the big travel ball programs in the area at the time, I don't know how big they are anymore, because I know with just the landscape of travel ball, you got USA Prime and Canes, and they're all just like making transplant teams everywhere. But at the time, there was a program called Legends Baseball. They were the program that was pumping out a lot of kids. You knew that Navy and Gold, you knew the LB logo, and we played their top team when I was 11, and we got beat so bad. And we played them when we were 12, got beat the first time we played them. I pitched the second time we played them in a championship game of a tournament. And I was like, I'm sick and tired of losing these guys. They're so freaking arrogant. They're so cocky. I'm just going to go up there and shove. And I did. I only had like 3 strikeouts. I pitched to contact because I wasn't allowed to throw a curveball. My parents and Russ were like, no, you're not throwing a curveball. So it was fastball changeup. And so I really just pitched to contact. I only had a couple strikeouts, but I got outs and ended up throwing a complete game. And that was kind of a wrap on the 12-year-old season. I pitched way too many innings, so I didn't get to go to Cooperstown end the year. My parents couldn't afford it at the time either, which I didn't know. Looking back, my parents made a lot of sacrifices for me to play travel ball because we didn't have the money, but they knew I really wanted to play at the next level. I also put the work in, right? So, like, I wasn't given anything. Like I said, like, I was working my butt off in my backyard alone. Like, I pitched a lot in the rain, so I vividly remember, my dad remembers it too, we were talking about it a couple months ago, I would always pitch in the pouring rain. So there was one day I brought a bucket, filled it with water, put baseballs in it, and started pitching in my backyard into a lacrosse net. With wet baseballs, because I just love baseball, and that's all I wanted to do. Like, I would just get my homework done, boom, go right in the backyard, because that's what I loved. I just loved it. I still love it. it was just my life. I got to 13U. I was still playing lacrosse too, all through this. So I would play 2 baseball games, would fly to wherever a lacrosse game was. I'd play 2 lacrosse games every Saturday and Sunday until I was 13. We got the travel ball schedule for 13U, and it was to a point um, where I had to pick, and baseball was where my passion was. I was a very good lacrosse player, played attack, and I think I could have gone far in lacrosse, but just baseball is my love. We get to 13U. Um, Russ took a step back, and we got a new head coach, Steve Belt, who um, one of the best people I've ever met in my life. And we got some new guys on that team when we were 13, and we could compete. Like, we were way better than our 12-year-old team. And we went down to like Long Island and we competed, and we were a very good team. A couple D1 guys on that team. Um, yeah, we were pretty good. Um, but we once I got to 13U, 14U is really when um, performance anxiety, and looking back now as an anxious person, um, I kind of know now that that's where it stems from. Um, because I was playing well at 11 and 12, I wanted to keep that up. And I got the yips like really, really bad. I ended up working through them. Still had a really good 13U, 14U season. Those 2 summers, 2 of the best summers of my life, honestly, with my guys. And I get to my freshman year of high school, and I have the yips so bad. And I was at a Catholic school, St. Mary's in Lynn, very prestigious sports program. Won a state championship in hockey my freshman year, and I was just so anxious that I would like throw up before practice. Um, I could not throw a baseball because our head coach, um, Coach Dana, he very stern guy. You don't really get any emotion from him, and I didn't know how he felt about me, and that killed me internally. And so I could not throw a baseball. Like, we went to the Cape, the first scrimmages of the year in Cape Cod, and I was catching, and I couldn't even throw the ball back to the pitcher. Like, that's how bad my yips were. And I was just pretending and saying my shoulder was hurting. Um, there was a runner stole second. I threw a ball, went to center field. He scored. Um, Next at bat, I had to run up to the pitcher and just it was that bad. And he was like, "You have the potential. We're gonna start you on JV, and we'll call you up." So I played JV most of my freshman year. Got called back up to varsity at the end of the year for playoffs. Got a couple at bats. Sophomore year, I was on varsity. I wasn't starting every day, but I would DH a lot. I could hit. I could always hit. That was never my issue. It was, I don't think, ever since I got the yips, I don't think he could ever trust me behind the plate ever again. Besides when our catcher got hurt, I'd catch a couple games. John, really good kid. Ended up being D3, Gold Glover. Um, One of my good friends when I was at St. Mary's. John's a good guy, but we competed, and so I would just hit, and we had an upperclassman at first, so I just would not see the field. But I would DH a good amount. I got a lot of ABs, and I hit well. I think I hit like 300, 310 my sophomore year. And then junior year, my family, we moved. We moved to Merrimack, Massachusetts, which, if you know Massachusetts, no one knows where Merrimack is because everyone thinks Merrimack, New Hampshire. But Merrimack's right next to Amesbury and Haverhill, right on the New Hampshire border. I went to Pentucket High School. I ended up transferring because I did not want to do the drive to Lynn every day anymore. So I ended up transferring. I had a buddy, Jake Etter. That's my guy. We played on academy together, 13U, 14U. and he was at Pentucket because he's from Groveland. No, he's from Merrimack. He's from Merrimack. Um, and so I knew him, and I texted him and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna transfer," and he was so fired up. Like, got in contact with Coach Went right away. First day of school, literally met Coach Went in the office, the head coach of the baseball team, and he was like, "Jake's already told you, or already told me so much about you. Like, we are so pumped. Like, we were bad last year, and we just need a bat in the order, and we think you can make a difference." Um, so get to Kentucky, played hockey, had a really good hockey year. I got hurt a lot. I got a major concussion, and I had some torn ligaments in my thumb. Um, and so the year went good, like I was playing well, but I was just always hurt. And then get to baseball. That was probably some of the most fun I've ever had playing baseball, ever. Like, yes, 13U, 14U, friends wise that I still have today, nothing will compare to that. But that 2019 high school season, my junior year, just how the towns, the three towns that my high school were, just like got around us. Like the team was 2-18 the year before, and we made state quarterfinal. Um, and it was just electric. Like the amount of people that would come to our games, and I'm not necessarily close with anyone on that team, unfortunately. I just transferred in so late. So like obviously they have like their friends. Like I'm still friends. Like I'm cordial, but never got close to any of them the way I did with those academy teams. Um, but that team was fun. Was really fun. Jake was one of our aces. Peter Clary was one of our aces. He's a tight end at Central Connecticut now, and no one really played college other than me and a couple others. Wait, three kids I think, but that team was fun. Get senior year, COVID ruins our season, um, and then big one. I going back to the academy. They ended up folding. Um, I not switched teams, but I did not have because I had the yips. I didn't have a very good freshman or going into my sophomore year's summer. It was not very good. I struggled at the plate. I struggled mentally, um, and so we ended up going to our hitting facility, and we just wanted to go hit with this guy named Nelson, who he's a Dominican, really good swing coach. Like he knows what he's talking about. And he wasn't there. And there's this huge buff guy, or not huge, he's pretty on the shorter end, but big buff guy, ginger, downstairs. And he's like, "Oh, you're Jordan. Like I've seen you around the complex before. Nelson isn't here, but like you can come hit with me." And so I hit with him, and he completely just made my swing so much better. Just swing thoughts, mechanics, everything. Ended up playing with him the next summer. Had a really good team. We had some D1 guys on that team, including Brady, Joe Castrocini, who will be on a video, on a pod. He was on that team. He's at Longwood now. We had some really good guys. Pretty much every person on that team played in college. Um, and then BJ decided to make his own team going into my senior year, called North Shore Freedom. He got his own hitting complex, and we went down to Fort Myers, played really well. Yeah, those two teams were really fun too. Um, Through that, kind of started my recruitment process. It really didn't heat up until going to my senior year of high school. I had a couple D2 interests. I really wanted to go to Stonehill, where Joe ended up going. The coaching staff was very blunt and honest, and they said, "You know what? You have upside, you have potential, but we just don't know where you'll fit into our team." And so I appreciated that. Um, so I kind of knew going forward after that conversation, D3 was going to be the way to go. Had Had a lot of offers from in-state Massachusetts schools, um, Fitchburg State, Framingham State, Salem State, Fisher College in Boston, which is NAIA. Who else? Anna Maria. I had a couple in Maine. So Thomas College, Husson, UMaine Farmington. But it was really between Fitchburg State, Framingham State, and the school where I ended up going to, Northern Vermont University, which is now Vermont State. Um, but I went on a visit to Linden. I emailed Coach Tangui, who was head coach at the time. He's not there anymore. But I emailed him. He pretty much emailed me like right back. He said he loved my film. He'd love to jump on a phone call. We're on a phone call. Went up on a visit, showed me campus. I really fell in love with the small school atmosphere. At the time, I was a homebody. So I really appreciated how tight-knit the community was and fell in love with the view from home plate. You could see the mountains in the background. Like, very underrated view, like probably one of the best views in all college baseball. Like, I promise you, the mountains in the background when you were at home plate is just, it's amazing. So I ended up committing. COVID hits. They're saying the school's shutting down, so I pretty much thought I was going to Fitchburg State. And then last second, Coach Tang's like, yeah, we're going to stay open. We got a grant. So ended up there. I get on campus as a freshman. They did not return a lot of guys from COVID. Very small team. Like, we probably only had 20 guys, 25 guys at most. They had a lot of kids they didn't qualify grades-wise, or just they didn't want to go back to school because of COVID. There was a whole lot. So I kind of knew right away. I was like, if I prove myself, like, I'm going to play right away. And I had a really good fall. Like, I hit really good. I was always getting on base. I was drawing walks. I was catching very well. And so going into the spring, like, I knew. I was like, I'm going to play. And then I got hurt. I hyperextended my meniscus, practicing freaking outside in like divots, but not enough to like ruin my season. We play the first game. I'm not in the lineup. Coach Tang comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, you're gonna get an AB. Be ready. You're just coming back from an injury, and we don't want to rush you." So I get my first at bat that game. Hard line drive the other way, probably like 91, 92 exit velo. I did not play a game for the rest of the season. Ended up starting every single game after that, either DHing or at first. We had two really good catchers on the team. So DH or first every game. I hit in the 400s on the year, couple bombs, probably like 30, 35 RBIs. It was a shortened season. It was like 30 games. Yeah, I had a really good year, and it was super fun. Like, I had a really good time with my guys. It was a smaller team, so you really got to get close with those people. So it was fun. I had a really good group of roommates, and I just had a good time that year. Fast forward into sophomore year, it all freaking went downhill. I was in a very dark place mentally. I don't know what like stemmed it. I don't know what started it. But I arrived on campus and I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't know why, but in my brain was just like, what are we doing? We also had like 25 freshmen come in, so we doubled our roster just from the spring season to the fall. We had like 45, 50 guys. And there was a lot of shit going on between freshmen and upperclassmen, sophomore, junior, seniors. All the freshmen thought they're better than all of us, and we suck and all this stuff. And I kind of fed into it a little bit, and I did not get close with any of the freshmen. which I really regret looking back now, because I think it really hurt us in the spring. We didn't play very well because we never really got close. I know once I left, they ended up getting close and they figured it out. New head coach too. But I remember we were playing at Thomas College. I was having a good year at the plate. I really was. Like, we used to always talk about how there was no one making an impact. But I look back and I'm trying to do my best as a cleanup 5-hole hitter, getting runs in. And I just have one like really bad series at Thomas, and I got benched like right away, like my first bad series like ever in college. And I look back and I'm still hitting like in the high 200s. So I'm like, I was hitting like 290. I'm like, I'm almost hitting 300. Like, what are we doing? In that whole season, like, I was very suicidal. Like, I don't know why, but anytime I would drive or go anywhere, I would go to the grocery store, I thought of just every plan of just ending it all. And this is just to show that nothing major can happen for you to have those thoughts, right? Like, no one died in my family. Nothing was going on. You'd think my life would be good after coming off like a really good season, and there was just something in my mind that was pulling me the other way. I remember there was a time especially in the fall, like there was multiple nights where I would just go in my room, lock the door, people would knock on the door, I'd just pretend that I wasn't there. I would go on like 2-3 hour drives like alone in the mountains of Vermont and just think of every idea of how I'm just going to end it completely. Yeah, it was a really, really tough time in my life, and I put that out there, not for like sympathy reasons, but just to show like nothing major or catastrophic has to happen in your life to have those thoughts. Like, everyone is going through their own thing. And I think a main reason I really didn't want to go back to Linden was I was already feeling that way. That series happens at Thomas, and it's like, damn, like, maybe I'm feeling this way for a reason. And looking back, I shouldn't have felt that way at all. Coach Tang was just doing what's best for the team because we really needed a win that weekend to make the playoffs or the conference tournament. And looking back, don't really have any regrets. It is what it is, right? I decided not to go back. I ended up doing a Disney college program, so I worked at Disney for credit for school with my name in the portal, talking to some other schools. I didn't really love them academically. Decided to stay, finish with Disney, finish my undergrad, and then I've been working with Ripken this summer, which has been awesome. Met my girlfriend. I've been on the up and up, which has been good. But yeah, that's kind of just like my story on like baseball in general, but sports. My goal for this podcast is just to really, I just want people to showcase their stories. Like everyone lives a different life. I think a lot of younger kids just need some guidance and some advice sometimes. And the good thing about social media is you can get it. And I just want to bring a spotlight to some really good people who have accomplished some stuff in their life, and just give you guys some wisdom, and have a good time too. I just want this to be fun, carefree, no hate. I just want it to be fun, free flowing, etc., etc. So the next episode will be Brady O'Brien, Division III, all the way to professional baseball. I'm really excited to showcase his story because he's on the quieter end, more reserved. So I'm really excited to showcase his story. episodes every week. That's my goal moving forward. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. That would be huge for me. I would truly appreciate it, and I will see you next week. See you, fellas.